Let's talk today about Mass Mutual Disability Insurance Company. I'm joined today by Steve and Jessup. How are you, Steve?
Doing well, Greg.
Good. And Mass Mutual is one of those companies, whenever I get a call for someone who has that policy, it's usually a doctor, a business executive, a high-level business owner, pretty sophisticated high-wage earner who have bought that policy either years ago or even possibly recently. But Mass Mutual policies always give me a little bit of pause because the language in them can sometimes be difficult for a claimant to understand, and it can sometimes be difficult for someone to collect benefits if they're not on a pure total disability situation where they're not doing any work at all. So let's talk just for a little bit first about the person who's first going to seek benefits under Mass Mutual. What should they expect from your experience?
Well, I will say Mass Mutual is probably one of the more reputable insurance companies in the sense that they do really look out for the insured. But that being said, they're very thorough. You can expect a lot of requests for information if you are, for instance, a business owner or a doctor with your own practice, whatever the case may be. You can expect that they're going to, want to inquire as to financial, if you have ways of tracking what your production are, things like this. So they're very, very thorough in the review. And as you said as well, especially if they're still working on a part-time basis or they've reduced hours, the disability riders that they attach for partial disability and especially lifetime benefits, they do have certain qualifiers that other insurance companies don't have.
Right, and sometimes they have complicated issues with where it's not really a true partial disability, it's really just a loss of income type policy. So there's different types of clauses that you can buy when you buy this Mass Mutual policy. But because of the fact that, we've seen claims where it could take them up to a year to make a claim decision. Usually that's not the case if we're involved with the claim. That's somebody who's trying to do it on their own and doesn't know what to expect. So the claims handling process goes on and on and on because the carrier keeps asking for more and more information. I know when we get involved with a claim, that period is much quicker because we ask for every single document from our client in advance and we know what Mass Mutual is going to want. So we expedite that process and give Mass Mutual only what they're entitled to. But how does the dynamic change from Mass Mutual, meaning their demeanor and how they handle the claim and their willingness to pay a claim, once they get in this position where they've indicated they're not going to pay or they've sent a denial letter?
Well, usually when they've gotten to the point when there's a denial letter, there may be the options of trying to do some type of voluntary appeal. These policies don't require it. But usually once it gets to the point that there's a denial, the review that they conduct is so thorough to the point that they usually stick to their guns on it. So at that point, your only option may be, trying to litigate the matter, which obviously can take, a substantial amount of time.
So in terms of your experience of doing appeals, I know we've won some appeals with them, getting them to reconsider the claim. What about your experience in litigating with them? How has that been compared to other companies?
I would say each company has their own difficulties, but I would be of the opinion that Mass Mutual is definitely more, I don't know how to necessarily put it, they stand behind their decision a lot more, so they're going to stick to their guns with it. So I don't know if that necessarily necessitates or you're going to experience more of a fight, but if you get to that point, unfortunately, in looking back and when we've been contacted where it is at that point and we've had no role in the claim underneath, we can spot where if X, Y, and Z had been done earlier, probably wouldn't be in this, in the situation. So you really have to get ahead of the curve when it comes to dealing with them. They are, good to work with, but it's still all fact specific. It's going to be based on the information, the support you have. And also just verifying anything that you may tell them on a claim form, especially if it relates to owning a business, anything, that all that does come back, above boards and that it's detailed and explained and, accurate.
Right. I think they're a good company. I would buy one of their policies if somebody asked me about it. Obviously, I would review the language of other policies. I do find them to be stubborn once a claim has been denied in their ability to reconsider a claim, or even once we get involved and the claim has to be litigated. But every claim has their own personality, and a lot of that claim has to do with who their in-house lawyers are and how flexible they are. So it differs, and Mass Mutual may have a few different in-house people who work there who then go ahead and hire outside counsel. So, I mean, we've handled so many of these cases with them that we're familiar with all the different nuances of the company and how they're going to go about the claim. So what I always recommend, both of us and any of our disability lawyers are always available for a free consultation, no matter what stage of the claim you're at with MassMutual, even if you're just in the beginning stages of considering the file, give us a call. We'll always offer you a free consultation, and we look forward to speaking with you.